much for supporting my channel as well. Okay, so as I told you, it has been escalated my revenues there, but I don't want to withdraw that. Okay, it's gonna be 5 years. Okay, something like that, just like with my savings in Pag-ibig in P2. 5 years. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay, thank you so much for watching, Sir Johnny Xiao. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, I love this topic. As I told you, okay, so it's gonna be like my favorite subject really is English. English and science. Okay, I'm not really that good in math. Okay, but I can also adjust and be flexible according to my efforts. Charot. Okay, now we need to come back with it's vocabulary time. Okay, get the point? So, this is the topic for all, young journalists in different schools, right? Especially, we have subject called journalism. Buhay pa ba ang journalism sa mga Philippine educational system in our elementary education, high school, or senior high, junior high, or in a college, right? So, who among you guys are members or contributors of the publication school paper in your school? Okay, you can develop this talent while you are still young. Not necessarily that you love English, but it would be better that you love English as your favorite subject also. Okay, got the point. Okay, so there's a lot of things to be lucrative. Lucrative. Lucrative sinecure. To be productive. Okay, something like that. Nakakaloka. Okay, our topic for today is English vocabulary. Okay, so this might be useful in making a technical writing report, making a poetry, a poem, and also short story or novel. A novel, okay, and then you can also make or simply a story, right? Or editorial, essay writing, something like that. Not too much with slogan, right? Slogan is that involves statements a lot, all pictures, right? So what else? Feature writing as well also. Okay, so there's a lot of areas in journalism, right? Okay, so you know what I mean to those who are members, right? Like that. Okay, so shout out to Ma'am Dalia Bautista, Ivy Adla, Engineer Ivy Adlawan, also chemical engineer, and also to Ana Morel Salinding. These three are, and also Jesse Larvasa. Okay, like that. Oh, J.K. Riquillo. My gosh. And who else? Venus Bino, something like that. So these are the people whom I know in my journalism days. Okay, like that. So as far as I can remember, I'm also one of the editors in Naga National High School in the journalism. And then also I continued that also in my college, being also one of the editors of our publication school paper in Cebu Institute of Technology before as an institution now became a university. So we are the technologian. Are we still the technologian today, CIT University, or you changed to Technoy? Your publication school paper, I'm not really that familiar already. It was 20 years ago. Okay, something like that. So we go back to vocabulary time. Okay, so as you can notice, this is very, very important during NSAT. NSAT, the replacement of NCEE, you get the point, National Collegiate Entrance Examination. Something like that, and then it changed to NSAT, and but it changed also to another, and I don't know what's now. Maybe they phased out, right? Because we have already now K-12 educational system. But before, you need to have at least 80% up of your NCEE to take an engineering, course, especially University of San Carlos. You're gonna take engineering course if you don't have 85% of your NCEE before. That was 1980s and 1990s also as well. Okay, in CIT not that relevant as long as it is higher than 70 plus. Your NCEE. Okay. As far as I could remember, mga classmate ako sa Naga National High School, Sila si Jennifer Gomez, Maricel Respondo, Gerald Flores, oh my gosh, Shanice Cresty, shout out kaninyong tanan. Okay, I was the top number 8 in the National Collegiate Entrance Examination in the Naga National High School overall ranking. Okay, actually I did not study because I don't like. Okay. But I was shocked I was still in the top 8 in the overall ranking. Sorry, I have to tell this because this is an achievement and I've been keeping this for how many years? Just now I tell you guys. Okay? So this will be also good as your inspiration and motivation. So there in the NCEE, you know, as far as I could remember, there's also vocabulary. Something like that. As I told you, I love English that much. There's also a logical relationship arrangement of sentences in which you're able to read a story and you will be able to highlight the sequence of the story. And you have to arrange something like that. If you understand the story, then you know what comes first and what will be the last, something like that. That is chronological arrangement of the story. You have to arrange what comes first, second, third. Like, hindi ko nga na may exam, guys. Okay, get the point. But I'm not that really good in the abstract reasoning. That's why siguro, okay, hindi gamay akong score sa NCEE. But at least I was top 8, right? Okay. You get the point. So, vocabulary. Okay, I have here 15 terminologies here. So, of course, this vocabulary, I have to introduce a deeper terms, not common, right? Of course. So, the first term I will be able to introduce is blatant. What do you mean by blatant? Okay. For example, the intelligence of Lenny Robredo is very blatant. What do you mean by blatant? Or, I was very, very blatant in my ranking as a consistent honor student in the past. So, what do you mean by blatant? Blatant means very obvious. Okay, put that in your brain cells. Blatant means very obvious. Not necessarily you have to jot down or take down the note. Sometimes our brain cells will register immediately, right? Without writing. You have also the talent. Okay, that's why it can minimize your notebook. Our parents minimize the buying of too much notebooks if our brain cells can easily register the writings on the blackboard. You get the point? Sometimes you have only to bring 3, 4, because if one sentence only, it will easily be going back to your memory like that, no need to write. There are things like that also. Okay, but if you cannot memorize, then just put in the note. You can use this also sometimes in making a report, making a paragraph, something like that. So blatant means very obvious. Number 2, adamant. What is an adamant? For example, adamant means not fickle-minded. Wow, fickle-minded. This is new term for you, right? Fickle. Okay, meaning not changing of minds. Okay, Sotero is not fickle-minded. He is very, very straightforward in his principles in his life. Okay, meaning to say, not changing attitude or not changing minds. Okay, firm. Okay, like that. Firm in decision making, not easily changed. That is adamant. So meaning to say, fickle-minded is the reverse of adamant or the antonym of adamant. Okay? So again, use that in a sentence. Anna is very adamant in his studies. In her studies, because a girl, right? In her studies. So meaning to say, not fickle-minded, not changing of minds. Once she studies, she really studied. Okay? Number 3, insurgency. And this is very, very applicable in political science, right? If you're studying law, or if you want to become a political scientist in your country of origin. Okay? Political scientists are those professionals who are taking too much study in political science. Okay? Not necessarily a lawyer. Okay? Focusing in political science. Something like that. So an example for this is Dr. Clarita, okay, as one of the cabinet members of BBM, okay, for the National Security Secretary or Chairman, something like that. So insurgency means, okay, uprising. Uprising meaning a revolt. Wow, malalim siyang uprising, no? uprising is a protest against the government. Okay, that's uprising. Wow. Revolt against the government. Let's make that more simple. Meaning rebellious act against the governments. So that is really an insurgency. That's why we have a law pertaining to insurgency regarding, eliminating the communism in our country, especially the NPA and the Communist Party led by Season. Okay, so we don't want them to destroy, stabilize the government because they are able to revolt and act rebellious, okay, against the government or protest or uprising. So if you will say in the question, insurgency, pwede siya uprising in answer. Pwede siya revolt or rebellious act, okay, against the government. Okay, something like that. Okay, number 4, profound. Nakakaloka, di ba? I always use this profound when I do the discussion, right? Profound. Meaning, profound meaning, oh my gosh, deep knowledge, great knowledge, or let's say insight, great insight, see? Or, okay, insight meaning also knowledge. It's another term for you, right? Insight is also a knowledge. Okay, so meaning to say great knowledge. Okay, intense also can be defined as a profound. Intense meaning deep. Okay, like that. Intense and great knowledge or insight. Okay, use in a sentence like that. Okay, for example, I will say this. A scientist. Okay, Isaac Newton has a profound theoretical study regarding the 3 laws of motion. Okay, meaning great knowledge, great insight, and intense knowledge or insight. Okay, number 5, impartial, usually used by law. Impartial, meaning Junjun is impartial in every decision that he delivers. Impartial meaning not biased. Okay, so you can use this. I am impartial in everything that I do. I am fair to everybody. Fair is also an impartial. Okay, so instead of using a fair and not biased, you will use sometimes impartial to make it more diplomatic terminology or higher level in doing the report, like that, because not biased is very common. Okay, and fair also is very common. Even the elementary can use the term. Since you are a professional already and you do the technical report writing, so it will match your level as a professional. You use higher level terminologies also. You can use impartial. Right? Ganon. Parang it match your status as a professional. Okay. Number 6, prejudice. Oh, like that. So, prejudice is a biases or judgment. Okay, like that. Okay, so it's very clear. Use prejudice in a statement. Okay, Leni Robredo has prejudice against Bongbong Marcos. We need to say she is biased and always judge Bongbong Marcos because judgment and bias, so prejudice. Okay, like that. Number 7, oblivious. Wow. I meet this oblivious every time in the English examination in the elementary and in high school, and also in the applying for a job. There's also examination in English there. Diba? Psychology test, English test, abstract reasoning, a little bit of math, and then kahit ano, not say kahit ano, like math, like science, and then before accepting as an employee of the company. Right? May nga guys, di ba? Okay. So, oblivious meaning unaware. Oh, you are oblivious to your own health and safety. Meaning to say you are unaware or not mindful in attention. Right? So, you are oblivious in your financial statement. That's why until now, you are poor. Okay? Because you did not do the financial statement, because you are unaware what will be the effect. Okay? Get the point. Not mindful in attention. Number 8, very easy, equity. Okay? Equity from the word equal, but equity actually in economics That is shares. Okay? So I established and I joined investment in Jollibee. How much is my equity? Ganon. But usually equity that is annual. Something like that. Okay? Annual. Usually. But not specific annual. Sometimes also yearly, bi-monthly. As long as it is a share. Okay? Like that. Okay. Productive. Oh my gosh. It's common already. But the vocabulary is not common. Lucrative. Lucrative sinecure. Okay, if you found a lucrative word and a sinecure word that is really productive. For example, what is a sinecure? S-I-N-E-C-Q-R. Meaning you are now having a wealth. Not necessarily you hard work too much, but you are now stable. Something like that. So that is sinecure. Since you are now stable, that you are productive. Okay, you get the point. So that is lucrative sinecure. Like that. Number 10 is very common, but I need to introduce only another terms. For example, tranquility. Okay, tranquility is also known as serenity. Okay, serenity or peaceful and calm. Okay, the absence of noise is a serenity. Okay, you get the point, or peaceful. So sometimes you will use the tranquility, something like that. When you post in the Facebook, oh, I enjoy the tranquility in the beach. All right. So at least it's a little bit higher than common. You get the point? So the viewers could understand, this is really a professional because using higher terms than the normal terms. So they can gauge and calibrate the author of the posts, whether elementary, high school, or college, the way they put terminologies also. Sometimes that is the barometer of when you can distinguish an elementary graduate, a high school graduate. I'm not discriminating, I'm really stating the fact, okay? And a college graduate, because most of the college graduates, not all, disclaimer, can really have deeper terminologies not common, especially also if they don't like English, right? So they don't have also that much vocabulary. Okay? But in benefit of the doubt, usually, of course, professionals can use higher terms compared to the elementary. Diba? Okay, like that. So, wakatongtong of high school, mga anak. Okay? Or wakatongtong maroon of college. So, of course, ang ilang terminologies, really higher. Okay, mga common na kaayo. Okay? Ganon. Number 11, reluctant. Okay, what is Sotero? What is reluctant? Reluctant meaning unwilling. Okay, I am very reluctant to join the speech choir because I have a poor diction and pronunciation and enunciation of the words. Like that. So meaning you are unwilling to join the speech choir. So the other term for that is reluctant. Not only that, I am reluctant to join the party because all of them there are chismoso and chismosa. Okay? Meaning to say you are unwilling to join because there are toxic people there. Okay, something like that. Number 12, intermittent. Intermittent always applicable in the medical science, engineering, pure science, like that, because this term is more on frequency, like that. Intermittent meaning just like intermittent fasting, something like that. You get the point. So it's gonna be sometimes stable, sometimes not. Okay, so on and off, inconsistent, something like that. You get the point. Sinana siya, on and off, or not consistent, something not steady, intermittent, frequency, something like that. Not regular, not routine, not continuous. So that is intermittent. Ganon. Okay. Jargon. What is a jargon? Okay. Jargon is always expressed. A term refers in journalism, meaning if you write a report or an article, you always put words that are not clear to understand. Okay, so when you say difficult to understand and seems to be useless and not relevant in your article, you can drop it out and eliminate that out because it's not necessary to support the content of your article. That's jargon. Okay? Useless words, not relevant words, words difficult to understand, or words subject to redundancies. Mean to say, always repeating, and then what if you will eliminate that one and change to other thing to declare such object in repetition, something like that's jargon. Okay? Get the point. So most of the journalism students can understand this. Okay? If you are joining the journalism, committee in the school. Charot. Okay, clutter. Wow. Clutter also found always in the environmental science. Clutter. Or in the solid waste management. Okay, waste disposal, something like that. Or, for example, in a landfill area. Okay, something like that. Or in a storage area, in a yard area. That is, for example, there's a hole like that, and you have to put a clutter. Pinasocial rin siya, guys. But the clutter means cover and fill ra siya. It looks like clutter is used expensively and elegant in effect. The same as cover and fill, F-I-L-L. I will say, Uy, Anna, put a clutter on this. Maybe I will fall on the ground. If you are in the higher level. So, pinasosya lang siya, pero ang meaning sa clutter is just cover and fill, F-I-L-L. Fill this with something so that nobody will fall in this opening. Ganon. So, that's clutter. Okay. Now, we have haze. That's not also familiar that much. That, right? Haze. Okay, haze meaning to say, guys, unclear. Okay, unclear, or let us say, vague. Vague, unclear, vague due to the finely suspended particles. Meaning very minute meaning smallest and tiniest particles. That's the meaning of minute, M-I-N-U-T-E. Meaning to say minute is a homonym of the minute, okay, in the rate of time, second, minute, hour, day. So the minute there have two definitions. The other minute there meaning tiniest particles and smallest particle. The same also with that minute. But these are homonyms because they have different meanings, but the same spelling. Okay, the same terminology, the same word, the same spelling, but different in meaning. This is homonym. Okay, and then terminologies that have the same meaning, that is synonym. That's what I am explaining now. And terminologies that have different in meaning, or contrary in meaning, or opposite in meaning, that is antonyms. Meaning to say, vocabulary are focusing to the three areas: homonym, antonym, and synonyms. Okay, like that. And you can encounter this in English examination. Something like that in high school, in elementary, in college, like that, chuba chucho. Ganon. Not too much in the real world because, unless you are an educator, a mentor, something like that. But if you're assigned also in the, documentation, sometimes you need to, just like me, I'm boring using of simple terms. It cannot be denied. I can use higher terminology. Okay? Like that. And somebody also would research by clicking like that, just to make sure. And that would be good also, double checking. Okay, that's a good idea. Double check, maybe I am error or you are error. Because sometimes also maybe, you are mixed up with other terminologies. Be sure that you have correct terminologies, right? You get the point? And that also, especially if you make an incident, an accident report. So sometimes it's so boring. Keep using the same, this is just my standards, but keep on repeating simple sentences is not a challenge for me. Sorry. Nasa po yung graon. Lagi guys, mapulan ko, magduka ko if I will use a very basic English. Something like that, common kay siya ba? Okay, so I need to establish a little bit profound, as I discussed a while ago, right? Great knowledge, intense knowledge, and insight like that. So that is Haze. I have 15 vocabularies. I hope you understand what's the meaning of this 15. Okay? So, again next week, I will be able to have a vocabulary time. Ngayon ako ng vocabulary time. Okay? Because I love English. Okay? Something like that. So do I have to erase this one or not? You can jot down that and take down notes. Okay, something like that. Get the point mga palangga. Kani siya, nisudra na siya sa akong brain cells. Okay? At the moment, at the spar of the moment. You know spar? S-P-U-R-R. At the spar of the moment. Meaning to say, it is just appearing automatically without planning. That is the meaning of spar. S-P-U-R-R. Spar at the moment. Ganon. So like that. You get the point. And I was really jolted to do the vlogging. Wow, jolted. Di ba? Mga kapatid ko na sa journalism, alam yung mga sinasabi ko, di ba? Okay. Get the point. That's why I really want to become a renowned. Renowned means also famous and popular. Okay? But I love to use renowned. Okay, renowned broadcast journalist. That's my first ambition when I was in, elementary. Okay? And then, still in high school, I want to become a broadcast journalist. Something like that. It's not in my plan to become an engineer. Okay? Since my presidential scholar doesn't involve, that type of course to be selected. It's not there in the list. That's why I opted science. Since I love chemistry, that's why I take up Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering. Okay? Ganon. Dito point mga palangga akong gitag. So, any questions so far of this vocabulary time? Okay. Nakadumog na ba ang tanan ni Amy? Nakakaloka. Okay. It's gonna be like that. Okay. And now, after this, you can also write a poem. Actually, poem is a poem. Ako na lang siya gipas-lang. Poem or poem. Okay? That's because that's the correct pronunciation. A poem. Bisdak na pagkakaroon is poem. But if you try to pronounce that in an expensive way or an elegant way, that's a poem. A poem. I will make a poem like that, okay? You get the point, and then with equivalent enunciation. Okay. Diba? This is what is the difference between pronunciation, enunciation, intonation, and diction. Okay? You need to calibrate what's the difference among these four terminologies during you will be able to do public speeches, something like that, so that you can also try to have your spontaneous speech in front of the multiple people. Wow, multiple people or a mob. A mob also is a people, M-O-B. In front of a mob. Oh, diba? Not common. Mob, people, crowd, spectator, audience, viewers are just the same meaning. 6, the same meaning again. Mob. Mob is madlang sa Tagalog. Madlang people. The English of madlang is mob. K-M-O-B. Crowd, public, spectators, viewers, audience. Okay, that's the same meaning. Okay, you can also have witnesses, but witnesses not common to be used because apply more on the incident and accident reporting. But if you want really to use that, it can also be acceptable, but not really that close. Okay, you get the point. So 6 meaning in one, in one terminology. Okay, like that. If you want to have a very credible speech and trustworthy speech, then facing the map, facing the crowd, then you need to study a lot of vocabulary. Okay? Because these things need to, not really that, you need to be appreciated. You need also to calibrate your, standing. It depends on your credentials kasi Because once you have higher credentials and then you deliver a speech, it looks like makita mo na siya. Okay? So it's gonna be like that. Okay? You got the point? So, engineer, di ka ma in English. It's okay because most of the engineers cannot deliver spontaneous fluent English, only few. But what I mean, if you study and prepare your speech, you can do that spontaneously also because that also are given a talent to do extemporaneous speaking or verbatim speech. Do you know what I mean of verbatim? Verbatim and extemporaneous, meaning that's done on the spot without planning, just like this. I do the vlog, I don't prepare what to talk in front of you. Okay? All the words will come out in my mouth are not planned. Okay? Something like it's just coming out immediately. You get the point? So that's not scripted, not prepared, on the spot, and then understood to be spontaneous. That's extemporaneous and verbatim. Diba? Verbatim. V-E-R-B-A-T-I-N. Okay? And then, if you're also a talkative, means you are also conversant. That's another term of talkative, conversant. You get the point? Junjun is a very conversant individual, talkative, something like that. Or, loud communicator, loud. Okay? Describe yourself in one word, loud. Right? Gonna be like that. Because sometimes there are questions also like that. Describe yourself in one word. And you will think a lot. 1 hour, 16 minutes. You cannot think even a single adjective. Just say loud, straightforward, like that. Okay, frank. Okay? Alam mo, it's also not good to say sluggish. Sluggish meaning, sluggish meaning you are slow, not quick in thinking. Meaning, hina imong brain cells. Sluggish. Luyahon. Okay? Not active. Not energetic. That's the meaning of sluggish. S-L-U-G-G as in goat. I-S-H. Sluggish. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, mga kapatid ko, Rufiosaurus. And thank you so much for watching. Nakakaloka, di ba? For this simultaneous live streaming about vocabulary time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I need to go to the other corner. The other corner also here because it is live streaming simultaneously. Wow. Simultaneous forecast. Okay, simultaneous live streaming between my YT and my FB also. In my FB, I have to say, bye-bye everybody. Oh, no, sorry. In my YT, bye-bye everybody. God bless everybody. Thank you so much. And you can click the notification bell for some newest updates of I Am a Singer Eternal Voice. And you can also subscribe my YT channel if you think you are not subscribing yet my YT channel. And also put any emojis you want. Also, and you can comment also, like, share, okay, and then you can also chat me in the messenger if you want. Okay, something like that to also help a little bit with vocabularies. Or you can also ask me how to construct a sentence. Okay, like that. You get the point? Subject and predicate. A sentence is composed of a subject and a predicate, something like that. Okay? So if there's no predicate, that is not a sentence. So something like that. Okay, in English. Okay, mga palangga kong hitad. Okay, bye-bye, God bless everybody. Okay? But I'm still alive. I'm kicking because today is Thursday. As I told you, I will do something too much at Thursday night.